for at least this year is our final morning show hate watch. And you deserve kind of a medal. I mean, you've seamlessly gone from the And Just Like That hate watch to the morning show hate watch. Even though I know you do love Jennifer Aniston, acting ticks be damned.
I think that the And Just Like That show was much harder to get through because that was just absurd. I feel like every episode was just a parade of nonsense, whereas the morning show is a little bit more serious. And I will say, I really liked this episode. I didn't love it. I almost loved it. Then they had to do something that ruined it at the end, and I was like, oh, but we were
Okay,
almost
you and
there.
I are going to have our first fight. I hate to tell
About
you, my
about this
friend.
episode, you hated this
I
episode.
hated this episode.
Ah,
Okay, and we're going to start. First of all, my main problem with this episode, as you will see, as we will all see in the forthcoming clips, is there was a ton of exposition. The dialogue there, it was so expository. It was like,
yeah.
perhaps you remember the last episode when my mother killed herself in front of me, and you know why she did that. Oh, by the way, you know who buried the EPA report? We're on the EPA report. Okay, Chip, the useless simp beta male that is Chip, confronts Cory, the excellent Billy Crudup, who deserves such better writing than this, on
On his movie
said,
set.
what?
Sorry to interrupt you. On his movie set, though, I thought it was funny. He just walked right into his movie set, Corey's movie set, and that's where he confronted him.
In this episode?
Yeah, in this episode, he was
No,
like,
it was the office, right? We
I
had to
thought
get
he,
up at the crack of dawn to watch this thing because it didn't drop until,
I thought it was like he was in front of a big movie screen, and then Chip walks in, and he's like, "Hey, I
Oh
need you
no,
to
no, no,
this
no.
report."
That's on the set of this is how poorly the show is written, Tim. A visual person. You didn't get this. They were on the set of the morning show, but they were having technical difficulties with the virtual backdrop.
Oh,
And
that's what that
so
was? I thought that
that's
was a
what
movie
that
set.
was.
Oh my
All
God.
right, we're gonna take a look. Here we go.
There's something weird. The internal numbers at Martell don't match the EPA report on Wolf River. You know anything about this?
No, I don't.
Really? You're totally in the dark?
As I explained to Bradley, legal told me to move on from the story in 2019, so I did. I turned that page in my life, and I'm not trying to go back.
Okay, I get it.
All right.
But even if it means we bring Bradley back home?
The only people that can help Bradley right now are the fine folks at the State Department.
I agree. And if we break Bradley's story, then it'll put pressure on them to get on it, right?
Yeah, well, that's certainly a theory.
Well, come on, man. Like, I don't really know what's going on between Bradley
Come on,
and the feds,
man.
but they're clearly not bending over backwards to help her right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, karma sucks, doesn't it, Chip?
What is wrong with you?
Come again?
She's in a fucking gulag, man. I understand you're mad at her or something, but like...
Mad? As I'm sure you know, she stripped mine my phone, and I don't know, my fucking soul on all things Wolf River. Perfect timing, by the way. It really set me up for the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you've ever had the honor of picking out an urn for the pile of dust formerly called your mother. There's so many choices. They got rosewood, they got ceramic, they got biodegradable, they got engraved. It is fantastic how we've managed to incorporate death into the consumer economy. While we're on the subject, quick question. What do you think is worse? Pretending to love someone so you can fuck them over, or killing yourself in front of them? It's, I'm just...
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Well, that's the best idea you had, was there?
I love that scene. I love the way Billy Crudup's character just demolishes once again the useless Chip, who is just in servitude, endless servitude to these terrible women who he doesn't even work for anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, it was wild that his mom committed suicide in front of him. I think that's the craziest thing that's ever happened.
Well,
But
he did. Technically, Cory had stepped away, so it was
true.
something of a surprise when he came back to see her
And his,
dead body there.
yeah, because I don't know if I'd ever come back from that. But especially if it's like you're having a fun afternoon with your mom, you get
Right?
back. But he's talking about. I'm guessing he's insinuating Bradley there, saying that like, oh, tricking someone to falling in love with you. I'm like, for what? Like 2 episodes? Like for like what, an episode in the beginning of
No.
the season? We already forgot about it. All I think about is you and Marion Cotillard. So, I mean, I just think it's funny. I was like, they're really trying to push hard. Oh, but then they had the flashback of them in bed. So they're really trying to drive home that they were in love, that this was
Right.
the relationship. And so it's like to make it, that much more impactful.
Again, it's that kind of sloppy writing. It's like, oh shit, we got to underscore this bullshit storyline we set up that nobody's buying as this grand love story. The balance of power was always with the Reese character. You know, Cory was in love with her from the beginning. She was never going to give him the time of day. So, but Cory, regardless, moved on very, very, very quickly while his ex-girlfriend of 5 minutes is in a gulag having horrors visited upon her, which this show really pussyfoots around. Cory confronts Marion. Here we go.
Did you have something to do with Bradley getting taken?
Cory,
Hey, just tell me.
of course not. Why would you think that?
Well, your family must have a financial interest in Martell since you paid Fred to bury the story.
I thought we put this behind
More
us.
Yeah, we
exposition.
did, but Bradley brought it back. She was getting close. She's getting close to something. And now not even
None
the
of us
Red
care
Cross
about.
can get in to see her.
His acting is great, though. His acting is
So good.
I had something to do with that?
I don't know what to think.
villain.
No one knew she was
Wearing
lying.
black.
Making mysterious
Ask
faces.
Alex. Ask anyone.
I think your
Foreign
family
accent.
can help get her out. And I think I can help your family. Chip is looking into all of this. And he's circling around the EPA report. But he doesn't know that I have the real one.
Ooh.
The one that proves
Reveal.
that
All these
Martell
reports, Marion.
is
Like,
liable
what's wrong?
for all the things
Damn.
they did to those people. And once Bradley is back, you and your family can have the report. An insurance policy. Do whatever the fuck
We
you
get
want with
it. Why are they over-explaining this to us?
My family, they can't wave a magic wand.
They can do something.
Maybe. I'll call them. For you.
You know, Tim, I want to talk about the really important thing in that scene, which is Marion's makeup, which I think is on point. I think it's perfect. End of day executive. It's worn off the face a bit. The eye makeup is just smudgy in a perfect, perfect way. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. I think she looks stunning. And it still has this air of like that they still use contouring and shadows to kind of give her darkness.
Yeah.
And I know lighting, of course, helps too, but I think the makeup looks great. I always wonder what happened before this scene because doesn't she wake up from sleeping and she's like, Cory? So it's like, did he come home from the park after thinking and then like, was she already asleep? I don't know. I just try to think about what they don't show in the episode because I'm like, oh, like, did he go to sleep? He went to bed with her like everything was fine and then he got up in the middle of the night? I don't know. So that's what I was wondering when I watched that.
Yeah, again, we're demanding sense from a show that has a writer's room that is, you know, paying it has, I don't even know if they have like a real Bible. You know how shows have like a Bible with like
Oh, yeah.
everything that I don't think that
Well,
they,
and just like that they clearly didn't because they messed up so many things on that show.
right? They killed a character twice.
Yeah, they had no Bible. They had a pamphlet that they looked at once in a
If,
while.
you know, Sarah Jessica Parker, that great reader who we're going to talk about in B Block. Okay, now, Jennifer Aniston is doing what she does best. She's stalking around the halls again. This is all she does every episode. She's stalking around the halls in her 6-inch Louboutins, and she's going to take some names and roll some heads, and she's going to confront Marion Cotillard because Jennifer Aniston, again, this show exists in service to her ego, and she's the real boss, even though the Marion Cotillard character is supposed to be the boss, and her family apparently owns the country of France and, like, you know, any number of Middle Eastern and Eastern European despots worldwide. Here we go. Stalking.
Miss Levy?
You lied to me. You fucking lied. The Iranians did not create that deepfake. You did. Do you know how much that fucked me up? You stole my voice. You used me.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You were going to use that video to get me fired. And the only reason you didn't is because things got complicated with Zeke and those protesters.
Exposition.
God, I'm starting to
Forgot
question
about
every
that.
single thing you have done since you got here. preach sisterhood, and then you edge all of us out. Laura, me, Stella.
Oh, so now you're blaming me for her fuck up too?
I
Great
expect
point.
your resignation by the end of today. Otherwise, I go to the board and the New York Times.
I'm sorry. I'm not resigning. You are.
And why would I do that?
Do you know how many laws you broke when you went to the opera?
Idiot.
You did business
Right.
with a Russian oligarch sanctioned by the US government. The FCC could
Exposition.
shut us down for a stunt like that. As an executive at this company, you acted against the well-being of UBN and its shareholders.
Jen
You
looks
have 24
confused.
hours to step down.
I'm sorry, Marion Cotillard's character is totally in the right there, and I would die to know that shade of pink lipstick she's wearing. Tim.
I just think it's funny that Alex once again comes in like with the subtlety of a hand grenade, and she just like has to like flip out and like thinks she owns the thing. Like she always does this every episode. She like
know.
thinks she owns the situation, and then it's like egg on her face every single time. Like, and it's just funny. Like she didn't help Bradley, and then Bradley gets trapped in the other country, and I don't know. I just feel like every episode there's something that she does, that she makes some decision and then it goes wrong, and she's like, oh, like, completely flabbergasted, and now she's lost her job. Now she's fired.
You know what
And-
Jennifer Aniston loves to play, and I think this tells us a lot about her own psyche. She loves to play a grieved, self-righteous fury.
Oh yeah, someone who's been through it.
Yeah, and in every given scene, even when she is course corrected and called on her bullshit, as Marion just did right there. Hey, you went to the opera in public and tried to cut a backroom deal with a sanctioned Russian oligarch. That, sister, is called treason. You're fired. She's like, what? What? I did what? It's like, she doesn't get it, which also says to me something about the Jennifer Aniston psyche. Like, she doesn't seem to get basic logic.
I know for the show they wanted to make it dramatic in this big bursting scene, but like in real life, when you learn that information, like wouldn't you gather some people with you? I wouldn't go by myself to the office to confront the villain. Like it's just that big showdown. Like I just think I'm like, come on, like the first thing in the morning, like you haven't even had a chance to process what you've just learned about this villain, and you're just gonna burst into her office and tell her everything you know. Like, okay, cool, just
She would
give all your
call
cards up.
her $1,000 an hour lawyer.
100%.
She would call her agent. She would call her manager. She would call in her most trusted advisors. She would call John Hamm, a billionaire who's seen some shit, and get some advice from him. But no, because again, she's brilliant, right? I think. So, okay, so then John Hamm shows up. Now, John Hamm, as stated, is the devastatingly handsome billionaire who cannot get over this middle-aged mediocrity known as Jennifer Aniston, and he is going to beg her to accompany her on her suicide mission to Belarus to get Bradley Jackson back. Because if there's only one person who could do it, it's Jennifer fucking Aniston. Here we go.
She knows. Ivanov, the trade we were trying to make, everything.
I should have never reached out to him. I knew this could blow back on us. How the fuck did she find out?
I don't know. She just told me that I have 24 hours to resign or she's going to call the feds.
Alex, that cannot happen. Nobody can find out about this.
I know. And Bradley, what about Bradley? State Department, already dragging its feet. Celine, she knew something like this would completely compromise her case.
Bradley fucking Jackson. Oh my God, stuck in a fucking gulag in Eastern Europe, and she's still a human wrecking ball.
I can't
Exposition.
believe this 22 years, this is how it ends. I worked so fucking
Back
hard
to
for that
Jen.
place.
Hey.
So, yeah, they're talking about Bradley in a gulag where, sexual torture is a real thing, okay? This show does not address it, but let's get real. And Jennifer Aniston immediately pivots back. I've been at that company for 22 years. This is how they do me?
It's all about her completely.
Yeah.
That's what you want to focus on right now. She's like, this is the way that I have to go out. It's like, okay, well, there's also your friend being tortured in a different country right now.
Maybe possibly never to return. Now, there were some other things that I wanted to address with you. Actually, producer Marlena texted this morning with some great observations. First of all, Tim, where is Bro?
Oh yeah, they didn't include him in the finale. They talked about him. They mentioned him like, oh, what is it? Some conspiracy theory like Bro would come up with. I'm like, they all they think about right-wing people is just that it's full of conspiracies, that everything is just a big conspiracy theory. And I'm like, this is just like such foolish representation. But I will say the one and only part of this episode I liked was like the public outing of a villain. Like I always love when it's done well, and like they almost did that. Well, they kind of did that here with Marion Cotillard. It was silly, but I'm thinking about movies like Jawbreaker or Cruel Intentions. Like at the end when everyone finds out publicly like who the villain is. Like I love when that happens. So I almost loved it in this show. But then, like, I don't know, I thought she'd be taken to jail or something, and she wasn't. Like, she just got on her plane and flew back home. So,
Yeah.
I was almost loving it.
Jen Aniston would have tipped off the feds to be outside the UBN office building or outside of Marion Cotillard's office door to arrest her and perp walk her in a collar for the ages, a star-making case. But no, this is again why I love this show, why I hate this show, hate watch it. Jennifer Aniston decides to do what everybody tells her she can't possibly do. Again, self-righteous fury. She goes down to a courthouse in Lower Manhattan to hold a press conference with, the marble pillars behind her and all of that. And she's giving it in one of the most echoey places known to man. Like a broadcasting professional would be like, I need better acoustics. It can't be there. Right?
So that's so true. That's so funny to hear. I didn't even think about that. That's so true. Yeah. It is very echoey.
She's echoing through the halls. And then, okay. So it turns out, in far too neat of a story wrap that the EPA mole was Cory's mother. Again, the EPA, this show, there's a brief moment where they're fighting in the control room and you hear in the background the news that they're broadcasting is the Dems debating whether they should throw Joe Biden under the bus because he can't possibly make it now. It's obviously the debate has happened. There are all these actual real world exciting news threads they could be following, but instead it's a decades old EPA scandal, which is the most boring, unsexy thing going. Even real journalists struggle to report stories like that because they're so dull.
I know that is true. I do love a show like SVU that kind of has current events in it. So you're
ripped from the headlines, cases. You're
I know that story. I know what they're doing here. Yeah, and this show does it, but I don't know if it's because COVID messed up everything. It delayed the show so much that they. Because didn't that happen? By the time they came out with season 2 or season 3, I don't remember which one it was so much time had passed. So they had to go so much further backwards. And I just feel that's why the show is so behind now. And I just feel like we're hearing of events that happened last year we don't care about. And,
Well, this show's real problem is, so it was originally conceived as and written as a much different plot line, and then the Matt Lauer scandal exploded. So they ripped up everything that they had written, and they decided to start from scratch and make the Mitch Kessler character, played by Steve Carell, a Me Too villain.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it already set the show way back in their own timeline, and then by the time it aired, everybody had forgotten about it, and nobody's buying Steve Carell as a sex pest. It's just not. It's just not happening. He was cast to play a different character than the one he wound up having to portray.
Is that what happened? Because I can so see that. He doesn't seem like the hot, I don't know, almost like a John Hamm or something.
Exactly, John Hamm, who is deviant in real life. Go look at episode 1 of The Nerve. Just my opinion. You need an actor who feels dangerous. You need an actor who has edge and sexual magnetism, where you could buy for several episodes that maybe these girls are making it up, because they're trying to get ahead. And who wouldn't want to have sex with that guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So I find that so fascinating because I'm I wonder what the original show was supposed to be about. I wonder what that was, what was do you know what the original plan was?
I think it was just supposed to be sort of the goings on and the infighting and the ego battles at a morning network. It was based on a nonfiction book about morning show wars.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah. But no, Jennifer Aniston was turned into a Me Too firebrand, and we end this episode. This is the worst, right? If you haven't seen this episode, it's a spoiler alert. Fast forward. But I thought the best way to end this episode would be Jennifer, again, refusing the offer of a billionaire to accompany her to a country where she too could actually get arrested and thrown in a gulag. Okay. No, I've got to do it on my own. I am a strong woman who's going to board my Gulfstream 5 by myself and land in Belarus looking perfectly refreshed. My makeup is perfect. My hair is perfect. I haven't slept on the plane. My clothes don't have a wrinkle on them. And I'm deplaning. I'm getting off the plane. I'm on the tarmac, which is freshly watered down so it looks great at night. And here comes Bradley. They should have ended it on a cliffhanger. They should have ended it on a cliffhanger. We don't know what's happening to Bradley, if she's even still alive. And, but no, they wrap it up with a bow, like the dullards they are over there.
I agree. I will say, just because I'm a little sensitive, that my eyes watered a little bit when
you're so sweet.
I'm not even
a
joking.
Real sweetheart.
I think it was because we had to watch it so early this morning that I was still tired maybe, but when Bradley walks towards her, I even said out loud, I was like, what, are they going to run to each other? And then they kind of do, and my eyes started watering. I was like, wait, and then the embrace, I don't know. I did find that a touch emotional just because I'm a little bit of a softie, but and I will say that Alex's hair looked very Rachel at the end of this episode. It was doing the flipping in thing. And I don't know if she's bringing that back, but I loved that late 90s, early 2000s when the hair went inwards, and I noticed that they were doing that with her.
She had way too much volume at the crown for a 16-hour flight.
I think that's so funny that you say that. She's like, I'm going to go see my disheveled, beaten up, broken down friend, and I'm going to show up
I get
immaculate.
off a 6-hour flight looking a lot worse for wear, and I don't like to fly coach. I fly nicely if I can. She touched up
before she got off. She was like, I want to make sure I look good before I see my beaten up friend.
And you know what? I'm gonna try to knock a little bit of the sentimentality out of you, my friend, because they end the embrace. It's the soap opera hug. It's the one shot with the two faces. Real Housewives figured this out a long time ago. When you're hugging a castmate, either you're consoling them or you're trying to put them down a little bit. It's side to side. It's the faces go side to side so we can get the full expressions. It's never a hug that the back of somebody's head is in the shot, right?
Yeah.
And so they were boarding the plane like that.
Exactly.
I fucking hate this show. I hate it.
You see right through it, Maureen. You see right through everything.
The key to losing weight and keeping it off is not about cutting carbs, avoiding fat, or loading up on probiotic-rich foods such as yogurt. Achieving a healthy weight, boosting energy, and living a vibrant life comes down to flipping a switch in your body that will help flush out unnecessary calories. Dr. Stephen Gundry calls this caloric bypass. By activating this mechanism, he has seen thousands of people, many over the age of 50, dramatically improve their health. Dr. Gundry lost 70 pounds using his research and has kept the weight off for over 20 years. His digestive issues disappeared, his health has soared, and he now feels younger and healthier than he did in his 40s. His video has been watched by over 20 million people to date, and you can watch and learn more about it at thehealthyfat.com/nerve. It is linked at the bottom of this video, but he'll teach you exactly how he has kept his weight off for free at thehealthyfat.com/nerve.